welcome one more time to the Heart of Hollywood interview series. And today I'm with Rita Casman. She's an actor, a philanthropist, and also a singer. So Rita, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm really good. Thank you very much, Gio, for this opportunity.
Well, it's always great talking with you and also very motivating to learn more about your career and what you're doing in the entertainment industry because it's not always easy. And I would like to know a little bit more about your background. I know that you come from Guatemala, but also you are here in the US and you are starting your career as an actor and you already have accomplished a lot of things. So when did your passion started to when you say I wanted to become an actor?
Well, I really always wanted to become an actor since I can remember, to be honest with you. But I started singing, even though I started speaking till I was 3. I would mumble and sing and still say words, but I wouldn't speak. So that was really interesting. And then I would like to do voices. I really always had a passion for voiceover, and I always inclined for the artistic side. But as I started to grow up, I started to forget about that. And when I graduated from high school, I knew that I was creative, but I didn't think about acting at that time. It wasn't very popular to do it wherever you were. So what I did was I went to study communication, which is the base of acting. So it really did help me. Then I got a master's degree in international relations, which that is what made me become, a philanthropist. I do call myself a philanthropist, even though I haven't given like a lot of money, but I've given a lot of my time. So I think it's more than money. But I really aim big, I really want to give like thousands of dollars, millions of dollars to different organizations and help people get up and fulfill their dreams. And then when I worked with Carlos Arguello, which he is I believe he still does sometimes After Effects here in Hollywood, but he lived here full time. So he worked with people like Michael Jackson, Bruce Willis, and Armageddon, and The Devil's Advocate, with all those, when that new thing was going on with the morphing of faces. He basically is one of the creators of that effect. So he is from Nicaragua, but his father went to work in Guatemala for a while. And he loved Guatemala. So when he wanted to retire, he said, I'll go to Antigua, Guatemala, which is kind of like 50 kilometers from the base city. And then he started to learn a lot about people that said, wow, you've done this, and I want to do it too. So he started a foundation and a studio, and he worked with the Chronicles of Narnia when it was nominated for the Oscar. And with people that were animating, I'm telling you, from 20 to 23 years old, very, very young people. So he started to see that a lot of people wanted to make their dreams come true as well. He did another movie that came out in the Berlin Film Festival. And when he was in Guatemala, he needed a publicist. And at that time, I've been an entrepreneur for over 8 years. So I've done marketing and PR and things like that. And he found me. And I got hired to do a project with them for around 4 months. And I just, when I saw his resume and I just saw all the people that he's been working with and stuff like that, it just kind of reminded me, because I would always think about acting and I would be like, okay, maybe next year, maybe, because I would always think about coming and living here, right, in Los Angeles. So I was like, okay, or maybe I won't do it because I'll get married, or that's what I would. It wasn't the right mindset, but it's because it wasn't the right time. But that one day I stayed very late working at his hospice, and I just want to see, out of curiosity, how much classes cost there. I just really didn't even know that there were master's degrees in acting or anything like that, which is the highest level in the arts area. And then I found the New York Film Academy, and I just knew that I had to be there because I liked that it was an intensive program and I didn't have to be another 4 years in school. And then I would just continue taking classes, with different people. And I've been trained by the best. I've been trained by Joseph Perlman, by Bernard Hiller, by Bobby Chance. I mean, it's been I've become fearless, and in a sense, I'm still working on that, obviously, but I just I found that my purpose was also to be a philanthropist, and I use a lot the example of Angelina Jolie, which that's what she does. She uses her money, what she gets from movies, and gives it away to really important causes. And she travels and visits the causes and sees and knows what's going on in the world. And that's what I've been doing. And I've always been an empath. So I started studying, to be a psychic and to be an angel therapist. And I'm doing that on the side as well. And that really goes hand in hand with my acting career because it's a lot of intuition.
I would like
And
to
things
talk
like that.
about your acting career. How was your experience, with acting with different mentors and coaches? What have you gained from all that learning as an actor?
Well, for example, with Bobby, she really learned how to like taught me how to work fast, because I didn't know what it was to. I was very fearful of learning text. I was like, okay, I have mild dyslexia and I feel like I can't. How am I going to do it when I get a guest star or stuff like that? And I have to do it like in a very fast period of time. But with her, you go and you take a class and you need to learn the lines that same day and then perform it a few days later in front of producers, casting directors, writers, and also agents and managers. So there's no the technique is fast paced. There's no technique like I learned in school where I would have a scene for a semester.
Well, sometimes
So
we learn the best things while working on set or working, in real time. And for all our friends out there that don't know about Bobby Chance has been a while here in Los Angeles. It's an acting studio, and also sometimes they do casting agents. They go to the studio to see the showcase, the acting showcase where Rita has been previously. Rita, and so right now, what are the projects that do you like to work on, or the projects more than others as an actor?
I've been doing this for 5 years, so I'm relatively still intermediate. I do consider myself intermediate and not a beginner because I've like I said, I never stopped studying or working. Big things that I've done have been commercials and an appearance on True TV, and a very good film that's coming out. It's called Stirring the Pot. For I hope it when everything gets to this new thing that we're going in, we start screening it. And to be honest, right now I still don't have something that I liked more, but maybe in comedy I would say that I liked doing Rebecca in Stirring the Pot, because it was a little hard to let her go because I'm very alike to her. It's just a little bit. It's that part of me that I like to play a
Rita, is
lot.
there an ideal character that you would like to play, that perhaps you want to hear about it? Any characters that you say, I want to play that one?
I really am inclined to playing real people. Somebody that either exists or existed, either in a very like 1800s or now. I do consider myself an old soul, even though I look much younger than what I am. But I think that I would really be good at that. And I like to play horror movies. That's one of my other specialties. So I like to to either be the one that's the bad one or the one that is going through all of the things. So
Why
yeah.
you would like to play or like to be the bad one of the movie?
Oh, well, it's just so much interesting because I'm not a bad person, you know? So to get into that part, like the dark part, but no, when you are playing and when you're out of character is very interesting, because I've seen a lot of documentaries like Jim Carrey's documentary and like Heath Ledger's, and I've learned a lot about them without I don't criticize them at all. I think they're amazing, but I do think about the boundaries that we must look as actors. Like your acting career can't be everything. It just can't, because if not, you go crazy. And that happens to all of us actors, by the way. It happens to all of us because we all think about just acting, and then you can have repercussions in your relationships. With me and my marriage, I had some. So you really have to know how to use your passion as a job as well, but not make it all about that, because then your debts could go too up, or you can stop having fun in life. And acting should be fun. It shouldn't be like, oh, this is so hard. No, you can make it easy, you know.
I would like to ask you, for all the actors right now, especially right now, there is a lot of challenges. And in Hollywood and the entertainment, living in Los Angeles, how do you overcome those challenges? Being not a beginning actor, but, moving forward in your career.
Look, I know patience is really hard, but you have to have patience. One of them. Second of them, the first thing you need to do is budget. You need to budget. And if you're going to use a loan or credit cards to finance your career, I'm not against that, but you need to do it in the right way so you don't go over. Because the thing is that if we are worried about our finances, like subconsciously, even though you think you're not thinking about it in that moment, and you're in that audition room, they're gonna see it. They're gonna see it. Like give me the job. Give it. No, our job is to audition. That's our job. When we get to, like Samuel L. Jackson says, when we get to act, that's a gift. You know what I mean? So we just have to really plan ourselves as best as we can. I know that with the jobs is really, really challenging, but you're going to have to accept the fact that you're going to have to change all the time. There's a lot of job hunting there and stuff like that. But and you also, it's very important to have a hobby. It's very important to have something else to do
You
and
share
have some money for
what is your hobby?
Right now I've been, doing all that thing that I told you, that I'm studying a lot of self-development. And that's another very important thing. It's not that you have to study to be a psychic like me, but you have to study self-development, like how to make your quality of life better. Because the thing is that if you just study the craft, that's not enough. I'm sorry to tell you, but it's not enough, because they won't teach you there how to love yourself or how to care about. They won't. Nobody actually does teach us that. Everybody teaches in our household, they teach us how to love others, but they don't teach us how to love ourselves. No, how to really accept every part.
That is important for an actor, to love themselves, for they can have that self-confidence at the time to go and make an audition.
Yeah, you know who taught me that? Bernard Hiller. He taught me that in his master class. He really knows how to tell you, and the thing is that you have to also learn not to go just with the ones that are gonna be easy on you. Like, for example, Bobby's hard. It's hard with her because the directors are not going to be like, okay, so can you do that? No, they're going to be like, they have millions of dollars on their back, so they're going to be like, you have to go, you have to be ready, to listen while you're acting, and do the changes that you have to do. So you have to be very ready and for that, you really have to learn how not to take anything personal. And for that, you have to study yourself, connect with your heart, with your mind, spirit, soul, everything. Take care of your body. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff, but actors don't know that. So that's why I feel still a lot of them quit. It's not that they don't have talent. It's just that they didn't discover that, you know?
Have you ever thought before, because acting is very hard. It's a challenging career. So have you ever thought across your mind, I want to quit acting?
Ooh, several times. But I'm telling you, every time that I want to, it doesn't happen because it's meant to be for me. Yeah, it's meant to be for me. I remember that the first time that came across was last year, and that's when I got the movie and I got the part in TV. And then this year, only, you know, because it's normal right now. It's also in our thoughts, you know, so it's totally normal. So I'm like, okay, what should I do, you know? But it's normal to be confused, but I really don't feel, I feel like when we start over again, I'm going to get very busy. That's the only thing I feel. So what I've been doing is I've been in class. I've been with Joseph Perlman right now. He is amazing. He teaches you how to do things fast, you know, and takes you off of that acting mode, which Bernard Hiller does that too, and Bobby does that too, to do it as organic as possible, you know, without being with the little character thing that I used to have. I still have it sometimes, but I have it much less than when I started acting, you know. So it's really about maintaining yourself occupied to not think about that. But what helps is, like I said, doing something else, like really look for another part of entertainment, like if you like to travel, road trip, hike, whatever, something, so that way you can get out of your head, you know, because we have 80% of our thoughts are negative, you know. We got that from our ancestors, because in those times they had to be careful to not be eaten by any animals, but we're not in those times anymore. So right now what we need is to really recycle those thoughts.
How do you prepare when you go to an audition?
Well, you know, at the beginning, I thought I had to do a lot of things, and I had like a list. Okay, 1, 2, no. I'm like, no, I can't do this, you know? So what I do now is and I get them from one day to another, and sometimes the same day, by the way. I read the text several times. Then I think about what the trap is in that text, you know, either to play it too angry or too funny or whatever. So I try to see different ways that can come out, which Sora, the Hoarder casting director, taught me how to do that. You know, play it scary, funny, sad, whatever. And then it just comes like a mixture out of that. That's another technique. So I start memorizing it, and then I just start saying out loud, you know. And if I usually put my iPhone, and I record myself rehearsing and like doing it towards the camera. And then when I'm on my way to my audition, I just really try to relax and not study more, you know, because I already know it. You know, I'm not attached to the text anymore. Bobby, that's what she always told me, like, you won't need to memorize lines once you're the character, because you know what you're saying. You'll remember the page. And I was like, wow, she's like really serious about that. And she is right. She is right. There's no need to be like, oh, blah, blah, blah. No, there's no need. And every time I learn faster and faster and faster the lines. And then when I get to the audition room, this is what I think. This is my time to show my gift. The part is nobody else's right now. It's mine, because I'm the one that's going there, you know? So I forget about everything. I don't think about my bills or if I have to go here. No, that is my time. And when I go in, I just show my personality by being authentic and giving without expecting anything in return. And I'm telling you, I really don't think I've ever had like a really bad audition. Maybe that I screwed up or something. Yeah, and it's kind of hard to let it go. But I've never had like, oh my God, this was so terrible. And I've seen people come out from the room, you know, I'm like, I've never felt like that. But it's because of the confidence. Because you have to work
a bit about your feeling that you mentioned. I think it's very interesting to know, how do you feel the perhaps you didn't do well in an audition?
Well, what happens with me is that because us artists, we are very perfectionist, and we're like, but why didn't I did this and that? And I would get stuck in that. But then I started to think, what Hay says, she's a, a writer that passed away, by the way, not long ago. And she says, you really act how you do in the time that you do it, because that's the way that you knew how to do it, period. There's no reversal.
I think that's a beautiful message, because I continue, like you say, not take the stuff personal. What happened, what happened in that moment is yours, and that's how you're supposed to go. So thank you so much for sharing this. I think that this will help a lot of other actors that are starting in their careers, or perhaps they're already in their careers like yourself, but it's always something new to renew and learn. So Rita, you also are a singer, and do you do that at the same time that while you were acting, or are you working in a new songs right now?
Not as much. That is kind of like, it's kind of like a hobby slash working in my acting thing too, because when you sing, it really helps, because when we talk, we are kind of singing too, because we have like, our accent or way of speaking eloquently, I would say. So right now what I'm thinking about doing is that the Voice has open virtual calls, so I'm going to send my video because I feel ready to do that, even though I'm not 100%. I don't think we'll ever be 100% ready for something. My singing coach was Bob Garrett, and I go with him whenever I can. He's a Broadway veteran. He's amazing. He has trained people like like Drew Barrymore, Jessica Lange, Rebel Wilson, a lot of people, and what he really helps you to do is like get that thing out of you,
Well,
singing is very important for actors. Yeah.
In this world, somebody can't help me because I can't sing at all, not even in the shower. So I might need extra help. But Rita, you also are an entrepreneur, and I know that firsthand. We are very thankful you have contributed to Hard Hollywood magazine in the past and in the present as well. And I want you to share a little bit about that, because I think that's very important as well. That you have the entrepreneurial part in your acting career. Is that has helped you at all?
Oh yeah, that's something very important. They don't teach us that we're a business and that we're entrepreneurs. They don't, and we are. Our acting careers are not in the hands of our agents or managers or casting directors. No, they're just type of gatekeepers that help you open up, opportunities. But you have to become yourself an opportunity. And when you network, you need to be able to pitch yourself in 30 seconds or less. I know it's really challenging, but you have to really know your brand very, very well. So and organize your things, have your website well, and your profiles, acting profiles correctly. And it's not always like the best. You can have to do the best that you can, basically. But it's also important to see that a lot of actors or celebrities, if you want to see it that way, they don't just do acting. They have other businesses. You need to know how to invest. It's very important. So that's why I started with a side thing, because something that I really liked and that I enjoy. So I can also help other people, and then when you combine all of those things, it just grows into one really big thing. And then in these times especially, it's not that it's an obligation, but I do feel that it is a responsibility for us actors to talk about what's happening in the world, because we really can change the world. It is possible. So we have to do our part that really comes from the within, though, from the heart, because I've seen a lot of people that are saying things that are not very empathetic. They're just doing it because they want to look good. This is not a trend. This is a responsibility, you know.
Rita, how do you network when you go to the networking events? You want to meet a producer or a director. How do you, you know, interact with these individuals for, you know, they can get to know Rita Casman, the actress.
Well, this is really interesting because I usually go by myself. I'm that brave to go by myself. It's always good if you can get a buddy. That's great, but you don't have to be all the time with that person, so you could both see what you get. This is something very simple, what's going to sound, but it's the truth. Whenever you start talking to somebody is when either you're waiting to get a drink or talking about the weather. It's all small talk, really. So you have to have in your mind that you're not, okay, a producer, see what, no, that is not important. In that moment, you don't have to think about, I want to meet somebody famous here that can help me. No, that is wrong. A lot of people, that's why when you go to a networking event, I can feel as an empath, the energy, how hard it is, because a lot of people want to feel superior and they really feel inferior, and like a lot of like looks and things like that. So what I do to forget about that is that the first thing that I do is that I go and order a drink. I don't drink a lot, but I probably take 1 or 2 drinks because it's a little pricey here also in LA. So that's what I do, you know. And what I do is that I sit down in a place for a while. I kind of feel who's there, you know, who's talking, and then if I don't, you know, if whenever I feel, I change myself to another spot, and that's what I do. And then there's also people think that they have to give like a lot of business cards and meet a lot of people, but sometimes you'll only meet just one person, and that's enough, and you did good.
Well, I think I will agree with you, because it's very true. Sometimes, at least I can remember when I started my career, you know, you want to meet everyone and you want to, you know, make as much connections as you can. But sometimes the people that you less expected, they will help you, are the ones that tell their friends about you. Rita, so what are you working right now?
Well, I've had some 2 projects that I want to do, but I've been taking this time to work on myself first. But what I'm going to do next is that I have a short film that I did, that I would like to make it in a series. So I have to start working on the show Bible for that
Can you
series.
tell the name of the short film?
Oh yeah, it's called Shadow Wall. So I just want to change, there has to be a rewrite obviously, but I really want to think about where I would like it to go. It's kind of like a show that's called Room 104 in HBO, so something like that, you know, always done in one same space, and about somebody going through a lot of things and then having another character going through other things and stuff like that. And then I have another film that I would like to do that's basically my dream film, kind of like Joan of Arc, but it's about yeah, I know, it's such a good film. So this film basically it has 2 alternatives, you know, kind of like Handmaid's Tale. So it's this woman that lived thousands of years ago, or hundreds, of years ago, and then another woman that lives in a totally different country but has a very similar life to hers, you know. So I'm still thinking about how to do it, how I'm going to name it.
Story. Don't disclose the whole story. We need to sign an
Yeah, that was just a little
the audience, but
grain of
it's
salt.
very interesting. So, are you the writer for this short film?
Yeah, I really like to write. I
Okay.
really like to write. I really like to write. It's something that I've always liked, but I started writing as like novelist, you know? So to make the change to screenwriting was a little hard for me, but I think I did it.
Well, congratulations, Rita. It has been wonderful having this interview with you. And would you like to leave for our Horror Hollywood audience a message?
Oh, sure, just like really never give up. You know, I know you hear that a lot of times in a day, but really just don't give up, because at the end things happen when they have to happen, period. They don't happen before time or after. No, it always happens when it has to happen. So you can't control this situation. Being an entrepreneur is not controlling situation. Is not a safe job like going to an office. It's not. So you just have to really be patient and perseverant, and while that happens, you have to look for something else to do so you don't go crazy, basically.
Well, I think that that's a wonderful message, even for myself. So thank you so much, Rita, for sharing your time with us. And to all our Horror Hollywood media friends that are watching the interview series, Rita Casman, she's an actress and is a phenomenal friend as well, I will say. And so, Rita, thank you again. And to all our Horror Hollywood audience again. So bye-bye. Enjoy your day.
Thank you. Bye, guys. Have a nice one.